Hi guys, Forgotten Wolf here, and this is What If Robb Stark Married Margery Tyrell. Before we begin, sorry if I sound a little tired. I just came back from a day of paddleboarding, but at 100 subs I'll do a 1 hour video on the FNAF Timeline, and at 500 likes I'll do a video on Greyjoy's rebellion, and now for a bit of background. Following the death of Friendly Baratheon, Margery Tyrell was free to marry, and she ended up being promised to Joffrey Baratheon. This caused the Starks' doom and saved the Lannisters from Stannis Baratheon, and Robb Stark ended up marrying Talisa instead. So with that out of the way, let's begin. So in Season 2, after leaving Storm's End, the Tyrell Army doesn't return to Highgarden, but instead goes to Riverrun, where they express an interest for Margery to marry Robb Stark. Catelyn will get Robb to accept the marriage, and that will happen there. And then this has two effects. One, Robb will contend for the Iron Throne, and two, Stannis wins the Battle of Blackwater Bay. So with Stannis winning, Joffrey, Tommen, Tywin, Tyrion, and Cersei would all be dead. Jaime Lannister wouldn't be on the run, as he would likely be killed by Rickard Karstark. Another change is that Sansa Stark would be hostage by Stannis now. Moving on to Season 3, instead of Robb staying in Riverrun the whole season, he would be on the move. His first battle would be sending the Tyrells to take Castle Rock, which will happen, and they take it. And we know Robb that would want to take Castle Rock, as that was his next move in the actual show, so that's a reasonable guess to go and assume. Another one is Robb will take Harrenhal. This means that the Stannis will have the Tyrell army coming from Castle Rock and Robb marching from Harrenhal. Stannis' army will not be able to hold against both armies, so in the middle of the season, Stannis will battle Robb at the Battle of the God's Eye, and Robb will win. This ensures either way that Robb Stark will take the Iron Throne, and Stannis, Melisandre, and Davos will all end up dead. After the fall of King's Landing, Margery Tyrell will become pregnant, and with Robb's child, baby Eddard. It feels weird for Margery to become Margery Stark, but yeah. At the end of the season, Catelyn Stark will reunite with her daughter, Arya Stark, and the Hound will be paid good. Moving on to Season 4 now, Robb will set his eyes north to reclaim the kingdom, but he himself won't be able to invade yet for two reasons. The reason is Robb needs to be in King's Landing to assure his safety, his family's safety, and his claim to the Iron Throne. And the second reason is Margery and Robb will both want to be there for the birth of Robb's first child, Eddard. With that out the way, Robb and Sansa will reunite this season. Robb will send the Northern Army under the command of Roose Bolton to go take back the North. He also sent Edmure Tully to marry Rosalind Frey, which does happen instead of the Red Wedding. Robb needs the twins. Before getting to the twins, Catelyn will make her way down south. However, Robb will have sent word that Arya and Sansa are to go back to Winterfell with Roose Bolton to ensure the Starks claim over Winterfell. And around towards the end of the season, Margery will give birth to baby Eddard, and we can assume that Mace Tyrell will be new hand of the king. At the request of Roose, Robb will make Ramsay a Bolton and true heir to the Dreadfort. Moving on to Season 5, considering it took 3 seasons / 3 years for Robb to get down south, I think we can assume with the small army and less battles, it'll take 1 year / 1 season for Roose to go back up north. Roose will take the north from the Ironborn, and the Starks will be seated as the Wardens of the North again, as the Umbers hand Rickon over, making Rickon Stark the Warden of the North. Not much happened in Season 5, is the only other change being made is that Sansa will be married to Ramsay Bolton. That's not a change, but I do think that'll still happen. But the huge change is that the Young Greyjoy will be killed by Robb himself, as Robb said he would do that. Robb will also need to install loyal lords to him, that being Storm's End, Dragonstone, and Castle Rock. I think Robb will let the Iron Islands go, since he just gave justice with Theon. When Robb returns to King's Landing, he will come across Gendry Baratheon, and he will end up making him the Lord of Storm's End. As for Dragonstone, I think there's a chance Robb leaves it for Daenerys to make peace with her. Castle Rock is much harder for one to predict, and I have no idea who will be the new Lord of Castle Rock, since since all the Lannisters are dead and Brienne as well. I'm going to say Randall Tarly becomes the new Lord of Castle Rock, and in case you were wondering about Jon Snow, he will not be murdered. In Season 6, once again, not much will happen, but two things I know will happen. The first is behind Robb's back, Margery will arrange for Arya to marry Larys Tyrell. This happened with Margery arranging for Sansa to marry Larys, but Tywin found out, but Tywin not there. Margery will want to marry Larys to a Stark. But Sansa's already married, so Arya will have to do. Robb can't exactly say no, so Arya Stark will marry Larys Tyrell. Robb would have wanted Arya to marry Robb and Aaron to ensure the Vale support, but that won't happen anymore. The second change is that Sansa won't escape with Theon dead, so there's a good chance that Sansa will give Ramsay his son. Ramsay will still murder Roose, by the way. Now, moving on to Season 7. Sorry if I'm going a bit fast. In Season 7, Daenerys is here, and she will only have Dorne as an ally. She will also have part of the Iron Fleet, which will be used to take Storm's End, and I think there's a good chance that Grey Worm still gets Castle Rock, and then goes on to siege Riverrun, leading Robb's tower out of King's Landing. With no Robb in King's Landing, I think there's a good chance that Daenerys uses the opportunity to take King's Landing and taking Margery and baby Eddard, who is about 3 years old now, captive. Robb Stark has never lost a battle, so there's a good chance that he defeat the Unsullied at the siege of Riverrun, causing them to go back to Castle Rock. Daenerys also has the Knights of the Vale in exchange for Littlefinger being handed to the Queen, since Tyrion is dead and Lysa Arryn is still dead, for those wondering. With the Vale Army approaching, Robb is in a situation where he can leave Riverrun to battle the Vale Army. Harrenhal and go to Castle Rock and take it and try to take back King's Landing. There will also be a small northern force approaching, so Robb will battle the Vale and win against the Vale. It's at this point where I should mention that the Tyrell Army. Since Robb has a free chance at the capital, Daenerys will order the Unsullied back to King's Landing to protect her. Larys Tyrell will move to battle the Unsullied as they are retreating. And in the Battle of the Golden Road, it ends in an Unsullied victory with the death of Larys. Daenerys will also use her dragon to good use and to take Highgarden, meaning all of House Tyrell besides the captive Queen Margery is dead. But at the end of the season, an armistice is agreed, and all armies will march to Winterfell to defeat the White Walkers. In Season 8, humanity defeats the White Walkers, but since Theon is dead, there is a good chance that Bran dies as well. I feel bad because I killed Bran off in almost every single one of my what-ifs, but they are what-ifs for a reason. After that, I'd say the war ends because I think Robb would agree to a pact where he gives up the throne in King's Landing in exchange for the North being independent and his son and heir back. He will not get Margery back because Littlefinger will have her killed as he wants to increase his own power, and Jon Snow's parentage will cause issues, but again, he is a member of the Night's Watch. And that is everything. So, until next time, stay tuned for the Forgotten Wolf Direct next week. But until then, bye!